With the ever-increasing complexity of corporate IT infrastructures, it does not really surprise me that sometimes things go wrong. Let's take a quick look at some of the reasons that this may occur. As mentioned, there are many different reasons that security controls may not stop bad things from happening. This includes natural changes over time, such as bandwidth requirements, changes to management structure, and equipment that is no longer being supported by the vendor but is still wanted by the business. You should also consider controls that were selected without considering the entire environment, mergers and acquisitions, any changes to the risk appetite of the organization, movements of the data and other critical assets, changes in business process, previously undiscovered software weaknesses, and intentional or accidental misconfigurations. In order to determine if your environment has experienced weakened security controls, you will need to conduct security assessments. A comprehensive security assessment could include various procedures including test coverage analysis, audits, vulnerability assessments, penetration tests, code reviews which include dynamic and static testing, synthetic transactions, misuse case testing, disaster recovery simulations, business continuity exercises, or interface testing. Don't worry if you're not familiar with any of these assessment types, as I will discuss each of these further during this course. In order for security assessments to be able to identify issues and ultimately add value to your organization, the assessment processes will need to be well documented and, most of all, repeatable. This will help not only the overall organization, but also you as a security professional, since established and documented processes can be tuned and refined over time to become more effective and efficient. Performing these documentation steps will also allow you to be more effective in your resource management, which is very important due to the resource-intensive nature of testing activities. You will also be able to identify opportunities for automation for those areas that do not require direct human interaction and are repeatable in nature. For instance, you may be able to automate certain portions of your reporting and dashboarding, or you could consider having tools or scripts created for activities such as scheduled scanning. When it comes to security assessment, there are an abundance of tools available that can be leveraged. Some of these stem from quality assurance tools that can perform functions such as automated code analysis, which is similar to a security code review. There are also tools that automatically find vulnerabilities, such as Nessus, Nexpose, or Qualys, to name a few. There are tools to help you in securing the human, such as Social Engineering Toolkit created by David Kennedy of TrustedSec. This tool has a very specific assessment purpose, which is to focus on aiding social engineering penetration tests. There are literally hundreds of tools available to penetration testers. Actually, so many that it actually becomes difficult to find the best tool for the task at hand. One place to start is to take a look at Offensive Security's Kali Linux distribution. There are also even tools available to perform web application scanning and exploitation. And the list goes on and on. For example, there are testing tools for risk managers to evaluate their environments against security frameworks. What it boils down to is that tools are created faster than people tend to be able to even learn them. And as such, it is important to have an understanding of what is available and expertise with the tools that impact you directly on a day-to-day basis. The ultimate goal of these assessments is to ensure that the organization is performing due diligence and that issues are handled appropriately once they have been identified. I have found that there are key areas that you can focus on during your efforts to ensure that this goal stays on track. Here are some of my lessons learned while running security assessment teams. You will require a detailed strategy and tactical plan in place to ensure that everything flows together as planned. You will need to consider scope creep, which is when the scope of your project starts to creep and grow to an unmanageable level. You will definitely not want to add the uncertainty that running an unstructured test would incur into the mix as well. If you have well-documented and agreed-upon procedures, your testing program may survive changes in staff more efficiently. As there is currently very low unemployment in the information security field, skilled staff are very desirable for everyone. This invariably leads to turnover, and as such, you will need to be prepared to get new staff members up to speed as soon as possible.